People told me I couldn't do a lot of things.
I feel like I'm the chosen one.
Look at this. We created this. This didn't exist before we were here. All we are is proud and passionate. I love Toronto. I love this team. And we're going to the NBA Finals.
Nothing matters but winning.
Welcome back to episode 90 of Rapzville Weekly. I'm your co-host, Gabriel Chelio, alongside
Adam Casucci.
And today we're going to be talking about the 2021 NBA draft that occurred a couple of nights ago. Obviously, beforehand, if you look at our last episode, we talked about predicting Jalen Suggs to come to Toronto with our fourth pick. So we're going to get into what really happened. But before we do that, as always, please like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram at Rapsville for NBA news and Raptors content, and leave your comments down below. So to start off at the draft, obviously you start at 1 and you work your way down. And with the first pick, the Detroit Pistons were up at the clock, and we kind of all knew it was going to be Cade. There was all reports saying that they were focused in on Cade, and lo and behold, it was Cade Cunningham who was drafted first. Obviously a great prospect and someone that we thought was going to go that high. Second and third was either going to be Jalen Green or Mobley, but we didn't know which way. There was a lot of talk that the Rockets really liked Jalen Green. So that was our prediction, and it happened to be true. The Rockets did, in fact, select Jalen Green with the second pick, and the Cavaliers, being at third, chose Evan Mobley, which is also what we kind of expected. Jared Allen's future being a little uncertain, a lot of talk of trade, and could be going to the Raptors maybe. So they're looking for another center, and they did that, picking Mobley. So now it's the Raptors' turn, and this is how we predicted it from last episode, and we said, okay, it's going to go this way, and the Raptors are going to have the choice, and they're going to select Suggs, and they should select Suggs. So me and Adam are waiting. We're watching the TV. We're getting ready to post for the Instagram page, whoever comes out. And lo and behold, Jalen Suggs' name is not the one that is called. It is, in fact, Scottie Barnes, who we knew was on a high radar in terms of the Raptors, what they've been looking at. So we knew his name. It wasn't a complete shock, but we really thought it was going to be Suggs. We found out earlier that day that the Raptors were zeroed in on Jalen Suggs. So I really thought we were set to get Suggs, and I really wanted Suggs. I thought he was going to be a generational talent. He has a lot of upside, a lot of NBA-ready strengths. And Scottie Barnes, the big question mark is his jump shot. That we're gonna talk a little bit about that, but I really thought it was going to be Suggs, and lo and behold, it was Barnes. So I wasn't the most happy draft night. Neither was Adam. Neither were a couple other people that I know of. But, we wanted Suggs, but we got to live with what we have. We now chose Scottie Barnes, so let's make it happen. We're going to give him our full support. He hasn't done anything horrible or anything bad, so we can't hate him for no reason, right? So we're going to support him as much as we can. Hopefully he turns out to be great. Hopefully we can bring back a jumper, or we can turn this man into Kawhi Leonard like San Antonio did. There's big dreams for this kid, apparently, so let's see if we can get there.
No, yeah, it was for sure a good pick. I think he really fits into the Raptors culture. I'll explain the details on all three of the Raptors picks a little bit later, but just zeroing in on Scottie Barnes, I think he has a great mentality. He fits into the culture well with the Raptors, and defensive-minded, a high work ethic, really a team guy, really wants to win. And I think being a young guy, that's all you could really ask for. And then Jalen Suggs obviously going to the Magic right after. And the reason why me and Gabe really wanted Suggs, I feel, is because of his scoring abilities and also his playmaking. So if Lowry's future is uncertain, and we don't know whether he's going to stay or leave, apparently the Heat currently are strong suitors for him that we found out today. So Lowry could be on the way out, and Suggs would kind of replace him either in the starting role, or he would move back into the bench, which is both fine. But I feel like the roster currently, the Raptors roster, really needs a little bit of scoring. I really do feel that just pure scoring, shooting, a little bit of driving, playmaking, creativity. There's not too much creativity with the guys they have in their roster, apart from Freddie. OG's kind of working on it, and Trent a little bit. But other than that, there's not too much creativity on the roster. So I think Jalen Suggs really brings that aspect of the game that I think we were missing. But with Scottie Barnes, I guess we're going in a certain direction where we're with wing players. We have Siakam now, we have OG, and we have Barnes now. Three versatile wings that can guard 1 through 4, 1 through even 5, depending who the center is. So very versatile lineup. I think this can work if Nick Nurse really mix and matches and finds the right rotation of guys. But we're going to see how it goes.
Yeah, it definitely provides an interesting dynamic moving forward. I guess before I focus on Scottie, I was going to say, yeah, Magic did not expect Jalen to last to the fifth. They didn't think they'd be able to take him, so obviously they capitalized on that, and that was the first real, not upset, but the first shocker to some people. It was a little bit unexpected that we were going to pass up on Suggs, so that was the first one of the night. Looking at the team moving forward, I think it will provide a very interesting dynamic. If we go small ball in the sense of Siakam or OG at the 5 like we saw a couple times this year, let's say Anunoby playing the center on defense. You also have Siakam, you have Barnes, who's also a pretty big player, and then our 2 guards. It'll be interesting. And then on offense, Scottie Barnes is listed as a point guard to our knowledge, but he is quite big, Adam. So if we're going to run him as the ball handler instead of how we did Siakam a bit, if we did him as the ball handler, we kept Lowry and Fred off ball, OG off ball. All those guys can shoot jumpers, catch and shoot, quite well. Siakam had some shooting woes for the 3 ball, but even him, he's capable of hitting some jumpers. It'll be interesting to see if we go for a 5-out offense with Barnes being the ball handler up top. It'll be cool. Worth a try, honestly. I'm curious to see if we can pull something like that off. And moving forward, I guess if Lowry doesn't come along, we do have a lot of versatile wings, and it's going to be a lot of, I think, just passionate basketball, a lot of hardworking basketball.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And even the 5-out, it seems, I don't know if it would work with those certain guys. I just feel like there's not enough shooting, but I think anything could really work in this day and age of the NBA with positionless players, right? So, anything could work.
Now let's do maybe an analysis, right? So we're not ESPN, but here on Rapzville, we do have our NBA draft analysis expert, not the Woj, but the Kasuch. Adam?
Yeah, okay. Thanks, Gabe, for the compliment there. But yeah, starting with the Raptors' 4th overall pick, Scottie Barnes coming out of Florida State, 6'9", point guard, shooting guard, 7'4" wingspan, very athletic, vertical's 40 inches. So obviously, when you look at these numbers, you say he's very athletic, he's very fit. He weighs 225 pounds, so he can handle his own and still move at a pretty fast pace, like we've seen in the highlight videos. He's also a very good facilitator with high IQ, and he ran the offense in Florida State. So that's a good thing. That's a really good thing that I like to see out of him. And the versatility, 1 through 4. Like I said before, has an endless gas tank, really works hard crashing the offensive glass. And I also have a story about his work ethic. One of the reporters tweeted that the next morning of the draft, they saw him working in a gym at 8 a.m. While most of the other draft picks that were selected are probably partying or celebrating with their family. That just shows what type of mentality he has. And he's also a very team player. He really prides himself on that. He was talking about that. And he values winning over everything. Another thing that's so important and fits into the Raptors culture of the defensive mindset, the hardworking mindset. And I think he's the good fit. Like, I can't say that Masai went wrong with this because there's so many strengths and potential gains to this draft pick. So we will see. But looking into his weaknesses, he does have a little bit of a slow shot release with an unorthodox form, which we saw in the highlight videos and some gameplay in Florida State. And he won't be the best off-ball perimeter threat. Maybe being used in a 5-out offense, he wouldn't be good. Maybe as the ball handler would be the best place to put him there. And he did shoot 27.5% from 3 and shot 62% in college from the line. So the shooting mechanics maybe can be worked on, but the Raptors obviously did really change Siakam's shooting numbers and really improve them for the most part. Also OG. So the Raptors are also known for their development, obviously, and they really work on shooters and getting their mechanics better and the consistency of their jump shooting. So I really think overall, I think the Scottie Barnes pick is really going to be beneficial to the Raptors. Even though I did want Suggs, I think this is a decent pick.
Suggs was the safer bet, I think, for sure. This is more taking a chance to create something great out of a player. He's been compared to Draymond. He's even been compared to Giannis. He's been compared to Kawhi a little bit. There's definitely a lot of room for improvement, especially with that jump shot. I think that his body type and the way he plays, the way he moves, kind of reminds me of OG, but obviously a little more freak of nature in terms of wingspan and hand size and all the stuff we've been told about him. Mm-hmm. So it's an interesting draft pick. It could honestly turn out very well if he gets the proper development from our team. And I'm curious to see what Nick Nurse cooks up for the offensive structure. We'll get into that, obviously, but tons of strengths that he does have in terms of defense, being a winner, being so athletic, being able to do a lot. It's just that jump shot can create a lot of problems. And as a point guard with lack of jump shot, he's also been compared to Ben Simmons. So we're going to see how he fares, I guess, in that first season.
Yeah, and Gabe, looking on to the second round, what were your reactions just watching the draft there?
Yeah, okay, so we had a couple people that we saw their names beforehand, and me and Adam have kind of projecting, okay, I think maybe these type of players will be around, and some of them went earlier than expected. Some of them went later as it goes. So we were kind of uncertain who we'd be left with, because when it gets late, a lot of picks tend to become a little more random. But once again, when you're watching the draft, they always have the best available picks listed out, and a lot of the time those are quite accurate to who the team will select moving forward, for the most part. So as we were approaching 46, I thought there are quite a lot of names here. I know some of them, and Luka Garza was one of the guys that me, Adam, and our friend Enzo were looking into and thinking could be a good piece for us. Yeah. And his name was coming up as well. So I saw a bunch of people that could be picked, and all of a sudden with the 46th pick, the Raptors select Delano Banton. And my initial reaction was, who?
Yeah.
Obviously, that could come back to bite me in the ass if he ends up becoming a beast on like the G League or whatnot. But at the start, I did not know who he was. His name wasn't brought up too much. He wasn't listed on the best available. I didn't know him per se, and especially I think one of the real reasons that he was drafted is for the fact that he is a Torontonian. So I think they wanted to get a little bit of culture in there, being the first Canadian, first Torontonian player to be drafted with us. I feel like that just brought a lot of value to the franchise and probably make us feel a little bit better about ourselves. Because then again, if you're not taking Canadian players, like what team do you expect to do that? It's like kind of showing like a little bit of, I guess, love for the country. I just really thought, why didn't we just take the best guy available? The analysts are recommending Sharif Cooper, who had like 20 points a game averaging in college. So his name was coming up, and I thought, okay, why don't we just take him and the guys that are listed so highly? Why are we taking this random guy? Is it just because he's from Toronto? I'm not sure. And then after that, we had the pick right after 47, and I thought, okay, maybe now we'll take Sharif Cooper, the best guard, or maybe we'll take one of these big men here that's listed, BJ Boston. But no, we took David Johnson. I saw his name around the area, so I was like, okay, cool, but why don't we just take the best available? Maybe they saw something that we didn't, per se, so I can't really, judge what the picks were in terms of what our management was thinking. The only thing I can say is, how come we didn't go after a center? Is that the focus on free agency? Are we going to be doing Nerlens Noel or Jared Allen? We took three guys that all list themselves as guards. Obviously, Barnes could be playing small forwards or whatnot, even Banton 6'9", but they're all listing themselves as guards, and in fact, most of them point guards. So I'm just very curious on how this lineup is going to work. Adam, if you want to do the breakdown per person on what their attributes are.
Yeah, I will, but the oversized, they're really picking a lot of oversized players, but not in the right position, obviously. So I'm kind of wondering, this makes the Birch re-signing much more valuable. A lot more talk's going to be on that. Obviously, the Jared Allen, Rashawn Holmes kind of interest, Nerlens Noel, that will be brought up much more now because we're in need now for a center. It's an important thing that we struggled with last year, and I'm so surprised we didn't go with Luka Garza or anyone. Like, I thought for sure we're gonna go with a center. We have to. There's no other choice. That's the position that we're needy of. We don't have a big old style center that can sit in the paint, grab rebounds, and score. It's just, I don't know. I thought that was a mistake that Masai is going to pay once again this season, and he's going to be on the hunt before the deadline to pick someone up. I mean, that's a mistake, man, my books. But moving on to the draft picks, Delano Banton, Canadian prospect from Rapzville, 6'9". Obviously, he's a guard. Wingspan was 6'10", so not too much of a big wingspan. His strengths were passing the ball, good ball handling, good IQ, creates open shots with dribble penetration, so he likes getting to the rack and kicking out. And he shot 41% from the field, which isn't too bad, but then we looked at his 3-point percentages for the weakness, and he shot 25%, which once again will need a little bit of work. And I'm just afraid with all these guys being drafted having low three balls, that the way the NBA is going is you need to have guys who can all shoot the three, and a lot of stretch fours, even stretch fives are in the league now. So it's going to be very difficult to play with guys who can't shoot the ball, and where to put them. Nick Nurse is going to have to find the way, maybe just improve the shooting as a whole, or I don't know what he's going to do there. But moving on to the next prospect at 47 was David Johnson from Louisville, 6'5", a big versatile guard, a wingspan of 6'10". He could play the 1 through 3, very athletic. Obviously, he's a slasher. But his field goal percentage was 41% in college with a 3-point percentage of 39%. So he was pretty good. I mean, he was pretty good in college, and he was a name that me and Gabe did see later on in the ladder, but we didn't think that he would go right away. And his weaknesses are passing abilities and decision making. So he really has a little bit of weakness on those. But all of these things are just preset. We don't know how they're going to do in the actual games and in the 905 games, to the people who are going to the 905, and probably Scottie Barnes, who will start on the Raptors. So good luck to them. And I really like the picks. I mean, the only thing I don't like is that one of the seconds wasn't a center. But other than that, I think it was a very well done job by Masai.
Yeah. To talk about Banton, Adam, I just wanted to say, like, we were talking about the 3-point percentage. The scary thing about that is that coming out of college, you expect them to be shooting better because the competition is worse. And when they come here, they end up not shooting too well. Like you see Malachi Flynn as an example. Usually when they get to the real NBA, the speed, the physicality, the size of players, the way they know how to defend, it makes shooting a lot harder. And you see 3-point percentages drop off. And a lot of guys are obviously better than in practice and in the G League than they will be in the real NBA. So if you already are shooting horribly in college, it raises a lot of concerns for the league. But at the same time, they do have much better coaches, shooting coaches, development coaches. And if anyone can turn it around, obviously it'll be an actual franchise development program, not a college. So we can hope that it gets better. In terms of David Johnson, I just wanted to say that he looked like a really good catch and shoot player. His 3-ball number is very high, as you saw. 39% is quite well. And on the highlight reel, his shooting form is great. He can stretch the floor. And I just really like that catch and shoot for him. The problem with his field goal percentage a little bit came from pull-up jumpers, and that was off the pick and roll a bit. He had a lot of turnovers off pick and roll, and that's what we were saying the playmaking is sometimes a problem for him, because he got into some tough situations and his jumper wasn't falling a lot of the time. It's that pull-up that seems to be the problem. So with that in mind, I think he could be playing shooting guard for us, not necessarily point guard. We did get all 3 guards, and the other 2 seem to have a lot of playmaking and ball handling ability. Because of what I've seen from him in terms of decision making, a lot of sloppy passes, I think that he'd be much better as a shooting guard playing catch and shoot, because that pull-up game, like we said, is not the best. So that is where I could see some differentiation in position. You picked up a shooting guard and 2 players that are big point guards, but could also play maybe like a small forward or power forward. It's going to be tough to say. They do vary a lot in like body size and structure. Banton's a lot thinner and taller, kind of has like Boucher-like structure to his body. Scottie Barnes kind of looks like an OG, and then Johnson is kind of a little bit in between, like a Jalen Harris, I would say. So I think we got a little bit of everything, and the only thing we were missing was that center. So I think the push now has to be in free agency. I'm not sure what's happening with Lowry. There's so much talk about him and DeMar in Miami, or him in Miami and whatnot. There was the Lakers for a bit until they got Westbrook. So I think the push now has to be, you're going to have to secure Allen or Noel or just Birch again, because we have the other positions taken care of, to my knowledge.
Yeah, there were also some trade rumors surrounding Lonzo Ball. I think this would be a great fit for the Raptors. A good IQ player, works hard on the defensive end, and he's really improved his shooting, which is still doubted, but I think he'll shoot over 40% the rest of his NBA career. Like, I like his jumper now, and it looks much more smooth. And
his size, Not to forget his great size. He's a 6'6" guard who can guard multiple positions because he's a great defender.
That's why. Just he slots right in, right in the Raptors culture. I don't know what we would have to give up, but I'm thinking just a sign and trade for Kyle Lowry straight up. What do you think about that?
Yeah, honestly, if we're gonna get rid of Lowry, I heard some stuff for the Heat, and there was talk about like Dragic and Precious. I do want the big man somewhere down the road. If we can secure one in free agency like Nerlens Noel, okay. If we have to settle with Birch, I think Birch played solid. I wouldn't hate it. Honestly, I think Lonzo would be a great pickup if we could do that sign and trade. If we know Lowry wants a lot of money and he might be out the door. With Lonzo, you're looking at a younger player who has so much strengths and is already improving. Great IQ. He can do a whole lot. I honestly think he'd be a great guard to fit into this team. So if you wanted to do straight up, I'd honestly say sure. I think I would take it. That'd be, I think, a great alternative to what we currently have and keeping that roster young.
Yeah, I would already know I would fall in love with Alonzo and Freddie backcourt. That just seems so dynamic, and the passing and the scoring that will come out of that is just incredible.
Yep, plus the defense.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it, guys. We hope you all enjoyed. Good luck to all the draftees. Everyone in general, the whole league, we hope everyone kind of succeeds wherever they go to. It's definitely tough if you end up in the G League or whatnot to keep yourself going in the NBA. I think we're going to see most likely Barnes for sure will be on the team. The other two, I'm not sure if there's going to be COVID rules about the amount of players you can have on the team again, if they will still have like a 17-man roster with including the two-ways. If they do, we can probably see these guys a bit. If not, they're definitely going to have a lot more playing time on the G League. So we're going to have to stay tuned to keep checking on them. But good luck to everybody. We hope the best for you guys. We want to see you guys succeed here. The season hasn't started yet, so you're coming in with a clean slate, so just play your best. Right, Adam?
Yep. Just always be ready for opportunity, and I think that's the way you got to be, because I think we will see Banton and Johnson even this season. Spots will open up, just like we saw Watanabe last season. Spots opened up, he got his time, and now he's fighting in a spot for the rotation. So just like him.
Yeah, plus injury, so there's always possibility. Yeah, we hope you all enjoyed. Please like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram at Rapsville for NBA news, Raptors content. Leave your comments down below. Let us know what you think of these picks. And yeah, that's us signing out. Peace.
People don't really understand how obsessed I am with winning. I don't care about anything else.